Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. And welcome to Boost Your Health. I am Sharon Fant, and I am a registered nurse. For those who don't know, I'm a registered nurse and a healthy lifestyle coach. And I am here to help you become the healthiest version of yourself. I have been a registered nurse for over 36 years. And in that time, I've worked with a lot of patients with a lot of different illnesses and ailments and diseases and you name it. I've worked with a lot of people. And some of the things that I've learned was that the way we eat and the foods we eat have a lot to do with how healthy we are. So today I thought I'd talk about some of the building blocks for healthy eating. So these are 5 things that I want to talk about today that if you incorporate these 5 building blocks into your eating plan, you will be sure that you're eating the most nutritious way. Okay? So first of all, I want to talk about how you choose the foods you eat. So how is it that you choose your food? Most people choose food based on taste because it's a food that they like the way it tastes. Some people make eating choices based on price. When they're in the grocery store, they're looking to see, okay, is this a food that I can afford? They also look to see if it's easy to prepare. So that is something that people look at. Am I going to be in the kitchen all day? Is it something I can, fix in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, because I'm on a tight schedule or whatever, things like that. And then also people look at the nutrition of the food. And so today we want to talk about all of these components, but mostly we want to talk about how we choose the foods that we choose. What are we looking at when we choose a food? And one of the things that I want to do as we do some of these talks about nutrition, I want to make people more aware of what it is that they're putting into their bodies, what food it is that they're taking in. Be more conscious of what we eat. So that is one of the goals of these talks that we're doing here every day. So for those who don't know, I am a healthy lifestyle coach, and I specialize in preventing and reversing type 2 diabetes. And one of the reasons that I do that is because diabetes is one of the major disorders that is in the United States. And with that comes a lot of complications and other what they call comorbidities. So if you know anybody who have diabetes or type 2 diabetes, specifically type 2 diabetes, if you know anyone who has type 2 diabetes, then get in touch with me and we can talk maybe for about 20 minutes, schedule a session where we can go over some of the needs that you have to see if my reverse diabetes coaching program can help you. And the way to get in touch with me is through email right now. Email me at SharonFant01, that's SharonFant01 at gmail.com. And just say, hey, I want to know more about the coaching program, and we will definitely schedule you a session so that we can see how we can help. Let's see who's joined us today. Hi, Ben. Hi, Kristen. Thank you for joining. And hi, Ismail. Very good. So today we're talking about building blocks for better health. Food. How do we choose our foods? What are we looking at when we choose the food? And today we're going to talk about 5 different things that we look at when we choose the food, or 5 different things that we should be looking at maybe, or things that would behoove us to look at, or 5 things that we recommend that people look at when they're choosing foods that they're going to eat. So when we pick the right foods, then it will help prevent many health problems, including obesity. It'll prevent heart disease, diabetes, like we mentioned before, and eating the right foods can prevent cancers, all different types of cancers, just from the food we eat. It's not from the medications we take or any of that. It's from the food. And it was Hippocrates who said, let food be thy medicine. and medicine be thy food. And so that's what we're focusing on right now. Now, let's go into the 5 ingredients that you want to look at when choosing foods to eat. So we will talk about these 5 characteristics for healthy eating. Okay, the first thing you want to look at is adequacy. Be sure that the food you eat provide enough vitamins, minerals, and nutrients to replace those that's used up each day. So each day we're using up vitamins, we're using up nutrients and things like that with the activities that we do, all the things that we do on a daily basis. We're actually using up the vitamins and minerals, all that's getting used by our bodies to help us stay healthy. Now, if we don't have an adequate amount of vitamins and minerals and nutrients, then our body is going to be depleted. So you want to look at the foods that you take into your body. You want to be sure that it is supplying you with adequate nutrition, adequate vitamins, minerals. So when you're eating, when you make choices about what you eat, look at the food and say, is this supplying me with, I know we don't do that, right? We don't do this, but this is a good habit to start looking at, okay? Is this food that I'm getting ready to eat, does it have vitamins in it? Does it have minerals in it? Does it have nutrients that my body needs? You want to look at that. And if it does not, it might be good to choose something else. So you want to look at adequacy. So adequacy of nutrients. Is the food that we're eating adequate enough for what our body needs? Then number 2, you want to look at balance. You want to look at the balance. So you don't want to fill up on foods that are rich in some nutrients and not rich in others. So is this food going to be a balanced food to eat? So there are foods that are rich in iron, but yet they don't have enough calcium in it. So you want to kind of like look at that food. And if it's not balanced, it's not like it has to be totally balanced, but you definitely know that you can't just eat all foods that are iron rich without eating some foods that have some calcium in it too. So you want to have a balance in the foods that you eat. You want to kind of watch that you don't go overboard in some of the foods and then go under in others. Okay, so then the third thing I want to talk about is calorie control. Now, if you take in more calories than you use, then you would start seeing that your body's going to store those extra calories. So you want to be sure to have a balance of calorie intake, because if you have a balance of calorie intake, then you would not start storing fat, which leads to obesity and other health problems. So you want to be sure to get the amount of calories your body needs. So you can research that. You can check your weight and your height and all that to see how many calories you need. Some people are okay with 1,200 calories a day. Some people are okay with 1,600 calories a day. And some people 2,000. So it just depends on how much activity you have. Again, how much calories are your body using. So you only want to take in the amount of calories that your body uses on a daily basis, because if you take in more calories than your body needs, then your body is going to store it as fat. That's what's going to happen. And then when you have too much fat, it leads to serious conditions, okay? So that was number 3. So number 1 was adequacy, 2 was balance, and 3 was calorie control. Okay, so it looked like we got some more people came on to listen in today. Thank you for joining us, Sue and Tony and Nina. Thank you. So today we're talking about 5 building blocks to look at when you're choosing the foods that you eat, because nutrition is very important to preventing different types of ailments and diseases and disorders in our body. So we talked about those 3, and we're going to be talking about 5. So we have 2 more to do. So the 4th thing we want to talk about in the world of eating better and having a balance in our nutrition is moderation. So you want to limit certain foods like those that contain fat or cholesterol and sugar. And now we're not saying that you can't have those things, but you want to limit them. So you want to have moderation The word moderation is used a lot in the Bible. It says take things in moderation. So just don't go overboard. It's not that you can't have that piece of pie or you can't have that extra steak, but you want to just do it in moderation. Just take a little bit. Don't go overboard. Just have a little balance, like we talked about earlier about balance. And so having total abstinence from certain foods is not the key. That's not the key. You want to have a moderation of taking in different types of foods, which leads us to number 5, which is variety. So because I just mentioned how important it is to take in different types of foods, but do it in moderation. So don't go overboard. So now variety, let's talk about that for a minute. Variety, you want to eat a lot of different foods. Now, last week we did a whole series on foods that heal, and you can take some of those, and there's plenty more because I didn't even touch the surface on all the foods that you can eat that can heal your body. But you want to start trying something new every week. Sometimes people eat the same foods over and over again, and then your body's like, your body gets bored. Your body is getting bored. So you want to definitely add some variety. When you go into the grocery store, especially in the produce section, you will see all types of foods, all types of fruits, all types of vegetables. And I want to recommend that you maybe eat a new vegetable once a week. Let's start there. A new vegetable. Eat a vegetable or a fruit that you've never had before. Just buy maybe 1 or 2 of them just to see if you might like it, or try it just to see. You never know. And some foods that we can eat, maybe they came from other countries. We're not used to that kind of food or that kind of vegetable or that kind of fruit here in America. We're not used to because we didn't grow up eating that. But I want to recommend that you try some new vegetables and fruits. You can look up the fruit and find all different types of recipes to use to add that to the foods that you eat. You'd be surprised the taste of some of these foods that's in the grocery store that you've never tried before because it's just not part of what you've ever done. I grew up in the South and we had specific foods that we ate on a regular everyday basis, but I want to recommend that everybody break out of that and start eating something new. Add variety to the foods. And when we add variety, we will enjoy our meal times better. And we may even, take in some nutrients and vitamins that our body was needing. You never know, that particular food that you've been avoiding or that particular food that you just can't stand or don't like, you may need that as part of the nutrients that your body needs. You never know. Okay. So those are the 5 things that we want to be sure to add. We want to look at adequacy. Are we getting enough foods, enough vitamins, minerals, and things like that in the food that we eat? We're going to look at balance. You want to make sure you're not going overboard. You want to look at the calories content of foods, making sure you only take in the amount of calories that you're going to use, because if you take in more calories than your body is using, if you're not active, don't take in a lot of calories because it's going to turn to fat. That your body will store it as fat. And then number 4, you want to do things in moderation. And then number 5, you want to add variety. So if you have all these 5 ingredients going for you, you will be sure to have a good, nutritious diet. So all these 5 requirements are needed. So one of my goals is, as we do these talks, is to make people more aware and more conscious of what they're putting in their body, and not just eat for the sake of eating, or not just eat because that's something you always ate, or not just eat because your grandmother ate that or your grandpa ate that. Don't, start looking at what we eat. And again, the main thing, if you don't take anything else away, you want to start being aware of what you're eating, being aware of the foods. Does it have vitamins in it? Does it have minerals in it? Does it have nutrients in it that my body needs? So you don't want to eat or take in anything that's not going to be supporting your body. Okay, so that is it for this morning. To boost your health, we want to talk more about nutrition, and we'll continue to talk about nutrition for the rest of the week. Thank you, Regine, for joining me. And thank you, Nikita and Christina and Iris. Let's see who else is here. Okay, thank you all for joining me this morning. We are coming off a weekend in Las Vegas, and we had a wonderful time learning how to be financially free. We had a financial breakthrough seminar. Met a lot of people there, learned a lot of information that I actually probably will be sharing on some of my talks, because wealth and health go hand in hand. They really do. So we talked about that earlier, the way people choose the foods they eat, sometimes it's all about price and all about taste, and all about how easy it is to prepare. So if we don't have enough money to buy the best foods for our body, then our health can fail, or health can be jeopardized, I'll say. All right. So thanks everybody for joining me. For those who are coming in late, you can listen to the replay. And if you will, hit the share button so that you can share this talk with people that you know who you think may want to hear about it. And we will continue tomorrow with information on nutrition that will help you be the healthiest version of yourself. So this is Sharon Fant, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Okay? Take care. Bye-bye. Thanks again.